We live in a complicated, unpredictable world, one where being smart isn't enough. You also have to be careful, because sometimes it's not the outside world that destroys your progress. It's what happens inside, your attitude. Attitude diseases can be deadly. They can quietly eat away at every good thing you start. Today, let's talk about those invisible diseases, how to recognize them, how to handle them, and most importantly, how to cure them. I can speak about them confidently because I've had them all. Let's start with the first one, indifference. You've probably seen it before. That casual shrug of the shoulders, that quiet, whatever, attitude. The person who doesn't care much about where life is going, just drifting. But here's the truth. You can't drift to the top of a mountain. You can drift downstream, but never upward. Reaching any worthwhile destination requires direction and effort. Some people say, I don't see why I should get all worked up about life. Well, here's the thing to be any kind of winner. You have to care deeply. You have to bring energy, passion, and intensity into what you do. The key to a good life is this: whatever you do, give it everything you've got. Whether it's your job, your relationships, or your personal goals, pour yourself into it completely. Because when you do, one of two things will happen. Either it will open doors of opportunity, or it will reveal that you're meant to do something else. Either way, you win. But the dangerous illusion is thinking, if I had a better job, then I'd give my best. That's a lie. The truth is, you start giving your best now, wherever you are. That's how change begins. That's how you build momentum. So, shake off the disease of indifference and replace it with full engagement. Now let's move to the second disease, indecision. This one's sneaky. It starts as hesitation and ends as paralysis. You see people stuck on the fence, afraid to make a move. They say, what if I choose the wrong side? But after a while, it doesn't matter which side you choose. It only matters that you move. Because standing still is the only way to guarantee failure. The best way to live is to make decisions, boldly. Pick a direction and go all in. Even if it's the wrong path, you'll find out faster, learn quicker, and gain the experience you need to make better choices next time. Life isn't about avoiding mistakes. It's about having the courage to decide, learn, and keep going. So don't ask how many decisions you can escape. Ask how many you can make. That's where the adventure is. Next comes the third, doubt. Doubt is like a slow-moving infection. It spreads silently, and one of its most dangerous forms is self-doubt. You start questioning your abilities. You wonder if you're capable enough, smart enough, lucky enough. You begin to think, maybe success isn't for me. And that single thought can poison everything. So, flip the coin. Replace doubt with belief. Believe in yourself, in your potential, in your worth. Because understanding your own value, that's the real beginning of progress. Now, if those three don't get you, the next one surely will: worry. Worry is devastating. It damages your health, your relationships, your sleep, your peace of mind. Worry long enough, and it'll drain you completely. I know. I used to be a professional worrier. Not a warrior, a worrier. My family wished I'd been the other kind. But one day, I made a decision to give it up. It wasn't easy. It took nearly a year to break that habit, and it was one of the hardest years of my life. But when I finally let go of worry, I discovered something amazing. You can live a life free of worry without being free of challenge. You'll still face difficulties, yes, but you'll face them with strength instead of fear. And that leads to our next attitude disease: overcaution. Some people never achieve much because they're too cautious. They're always afraid to take a risk. Now, of course, you can be reckless. That's not what I'm talking about. But being overly cautious is just as dangerous. It's the timid approach to life. I used to avoid risk completely. I'd say, what if this goes wrong? What if that happens? That's the language of fear, the language of the poor in spirit. I used to imagine every possible disaster and talk myself out of taking action. Until one day, I realized something powerful. It's all risky. Everything in life carries risk, but not taking risks is the biggest one of all. You see, the moment you were born, life became risky. There's no safe path through it. Every decision, every relationship, every opportunity comes with uncertainty. If you think trying is risky, wait until you see the cost of not trying. If you think investing is risky, wait until you get the bill for not investing. Because here's the truth. It's all risky. Getting married is risky. Having children is risky. Starting a business, pursuing a dream, stepping into the unknown, all of it carries risk, and the ultimate risk, life itself. No one gets out alive. So if that's how it is, why not give it a go? Why not live with courage, curiosity, and adventure? Some people say, I just want safety and security. All right. Then find a corner, wrap yourself in comfort, and avoid everything uncertain. We'll bring you 3 meals a day, protect you from harm, and make sure nothing unexpected ever happens. You might even live to be 100. But what a way to live, safe but lifeless. No challenge, no discovery, no fire in the soul. Don't ask for security, ask for adventure. Because it's better to live 30 years full of purpose and passion than to spend a century hiding from life. Now, let's move to the next disease of the mind: pessimism. This one can quietly poison your outlook. It's the habit of always focusing on what's wrong, the difficulty, the flaw, the reason it won't work. The pessimist doesn't seek what's right. He hunts for faults, and when he finds them, he's almost happy. It's like looking at a sunset through a dirty window and only noticing the dust, never the light. Some people proudly say, I have 5 good reasons why it won't work. They don't even realize you only need one. To the pessimist, the glass is always half empty. To the optimist, it's half full. Why do 2 people see the same thing so differently? Because it's not about how things are. It's about how you think they are. Our lives are shaped not by the external world, but by the way we choose to perceive it. That's why developing better thinking habits is crucial. One of my mentors once said, it's not poor working habits that keep most people down. It's poor thinking habits. And he was right. Most people work hard, but they don't think hard. He told me, the mind is like a factory. Whatever thoughts you pour into it all day long become the raw materials that shape your life. If you feed your mind with fear, doubt, and negativity, your life will reflect that. If you feed it with courage, creativity, and belief, your world begins to transform. Because as you think, so you become. That lesson struck me deeply. For years, I began every morning with the newspaper, filling my head with wars, crimes, tragedies, and disasters. Then, I wondered why my days felt heavy and unproductive. I was loading my mental factory with garbage and expecting to produce gold. It doesn't work that way. You can't bake a beautiful cake with cement. The same rule applies to leadership. You want to become a great leader. Let's start by visiting your library. What are you reading? Because what you read pours directly into your mind. and your life is built from those ingredients. Yet, if you look at what many people consume every day, it's mental junk food. And they wonder why their lives lack energy, purpose, and direction. So, choose carefully what you allow in. Your mind is the most valuable factory you'll ever own. Protect it like one. Once, when I spoke to high school students, one of them asked, "Sir, how do you build a good life?" I smiled and said, "It's simple. Not easy, but simple. You build it the same way you build anything valuable. Choose the right ingredients, avoid the wrong ones, and start with your thoughts. Because everything starts with a thought." I gave them an example. "What happens?" I asked. "If someone puts sugar in my coffee?" They said, "You'll be fine." "And what if someone drops poison in it?" They said, "You'll die." Exactly. Life is both sugar and poison, and you must be careful which one you let in. Then I asked, "What if my worst enemy puts in sugar?" They said, "You'll still be fine." "And what if my best friend, even by accident, drops in poison?" They said, "You'd still die." That's lesson 2, watch your coffee. It doesn't matter who delivers the wrong ideas, whether it's a friend, a celebrity, or a stranger. If it's harmful, it'll damage your life all the same. My mentor gave me one of the greatest principles I've ever learned. Stand guard at the door of your mind. Every single day, be mindful of what you allow in. Don't let anyone or anything dump negativity, fear, or doubt into your mental space, because you're the one who has to live with the results. And now, the final attitude disease, one that destroys more dreams than failure ever could: complaining. Crying, whining, blaming, murmuring, call it what you want. It's a poison that eats away your future. Spend 5 minutes complaining, and you've wasted 5 minutes that could have changed something. Do it long enough, and it becomes a habit, a kind of economic cancer of the spirit. Complainers eventually find themselves isolated, left in the desert of regret, choking on the dust of what could have been. So guard your attitude. Protect your mind. These are not just motivational ideas. They're survival tools for the soul. The world is challenging, yes, but the real battle is within. Every day, you're either winning or losing that inner war. Win it with awareness, with discipline, with gratitude. Because your life and your future depend on it.